You know me, your noble and honest host, and I've got exciting news for you. Last anthology, Series 1, the literary
Keep watching The Politics every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Welcome to Talking Politics. I am your host, Robert Press. I write for the Bronx Chronicle, as you can see by my official New York City press card. I also contribute to the Co-op City News, Parkchester Times, the Bronx Chronicle, which is where the card is from, the Co-op City News, and the Parkchester Times, which the latter is part of Muslim media, just like this program is. I also have a blog at 100%.blogspot.com and Facebook pages 100% and What is Going On in Your Community Board. The views expressed on this show are those of the host, any guest, or any commentator whose comments you may see scroll across the bottom of the screen and are not necessarily those of Muslim media. I am sorry we are a little late on the show today, but it is obviously a problem for the weather. Today it is going to be hot and humid, as it will for the next 4 days, with probable thunder showers each day. Today, Friday, it will get to a high of 93. Tomorrow it should hit 90 again. Sunday it should be in about 92, and Monday probably 90 again. So we're in the middle of a heat wave. And the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has issued an air quality health advisory for today, Friday, June 21st, 2024, for ozone to include the New York City metro area, Rockland and Westchester counties, Long Island, Suffolk, Nassau County, Lower Hudson Valley, which includes Dutchess, Orange, Putnam, Sullivan, and Ulster counties, and this will probably go into effect through Monday. The pollutant of concern, as I said, is ozone, and individuals experiencing symptoms such as shortness of breath, chest pain, or coughing should consider consulting their personal physician. New Yorkers are also urged to take the following energy saving and pollution reducing steps: use mass transit or carpool instead of driving, or automobile emissions, as automobile emissions account for about 60% of pollution in our cities. Conserve fuel and reduce exhaust emissions by combining necessary motor vehicle trips. Turn off lights and electrical appliances in unoccupied rooms. Use fans to circulate air if air conditioning is necessary. Set the thermostat at 78 degrees or higher. Close the blinds and shade to limit heat buildup and to preserve cooled air. Limit the use of household appliances if necessary. Run the appliances at off-peak after 7 p.m., and this would include dishwashers, dryers, and water heaters. Set refrigerators and freezers at more efficient temperatures, and purchase and install energy-efficient lighting and appliances with the Energy Star label. Reduce or eliminate outdoor burning and attempt to minimize your indoor sources of lighting and PM and smoking. Now, I am going to take a commercial here right now. It appears that I'm trying to find my guest, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, and my producer is telling me that she's not here, and I've gotten word that she's in Las Vegas with Joe Biden. She's earning those frequent flyer miles, and I'm going to try and get a substitute host because AOC is concentrating on Jamal Bowman and Joe Biden and not coming to our 14th congressional district. I was promised by her staff that she would be on the show, and her campaign staff, Miss Lauren Hitt, said that no, she won't be available. And this was for the past 3 weeks. I was promised after the sparsely attended Parkchester Town Hall meeting by AOC. So I'm sorry, Alex, but you had me do this. When you were a candidate, you wanted to run and have a debate with Joe Crowley. I helped at the last minute get that done, and you refused to debate your opponent. So I'm going to try and get him on the show again. And let's go to commercial now, Mr. Producer, please. Can I have a commercial, please?
Hi, I am Dustin Pickering from Parrot Literary Corner. You know me, your noble and honest host, and I've got exciting news for you. Last anthology, Series 1, The Literary Parrot, did such a great job. We want to continue to provide this community service to our viewers and to our contributors to the program. So please get up and get a copy immediately. If you're in this book, you want to get a copy. If you're not in the book, you want to get a copy and see what we're doing. You want to be excited with us. We want you on this program, and we hope to see you sometime soon on The Literary Parrot. You have to get your hands on this copy. It's amazing. It's an absolutely beautiful anthology meant just for you. Our past guests have been invited back to contribute yet again to this Series 2. We do this quarterly anthology. We will be doing this after our 200 episode milestone. As of this last quarter, we reached 200 episodes, and past that, get up and get a copy immediately. This is the only TV show on earth for creative writers, and our guests are amazing. They're also community activists building from the ground up. This program is for everybody out there who is a creative mind. Order several copies if you can and donate to local libraries. Give them to your friends, cousins, fans, supporters, anybody that you think loves poetry. And it's not just poetry in this book. Remember, this is creative mind. So we have prose, fiction, short stories, essays, artwork, anything you can think of, artistically creative, photographs. Everything in this book is packed. It is packed. It is just absolutely packed. If you want to get your hands on it now,
Okay, welcome back. I have sent the link over to Marty Dolan, who is running against Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Yes, there is a heat wave, AJ, and people are going to complain about that. You know what you should be doing, though? Why don't you go to Orchard Beach and cool off? Okay, now, as far as it goes, we are in the middle of early voting. June 25th is the Democratic primary, less than a week away. One of the most closely watched contests in the country is the showdown between Congressman Jamal Bowman and Westchester County Executive George Latimer in New York's 16th Congressional District. Bowman has represented the district, which covers Westchester County and a sliver of the Bronx since 2021, after he won a hard-fought race against former longtime Congressmember Elliot Engel. He ran a far-left progressive campaign, and his big thing in that race was Elliot Engel said, I wouldn't be here on Fordham Road if I didn't have a primary. That was during a press conference with then Borough President Diaz. Now Bowman is engaged in a bitter fight to keep his seat from Latimer, a centrist who has been a fixture of Westchester County politics for decades. And Latimer has led Westchester County for the past 6 years and previously served on the Rye City Council. Bernie Sanders is going to be in New York tomorrow. He will be in a rally with AOC and Jamal Bowman in the South Bronx. He's rallying to fight back against AIPAC's right-wing billionaire spending. And you know what? I have Marty Dolan here on the phone right now. Yes, Marty. Can you hear me?
Not able to log in.
Okay, we're going to do it this way, Marty. Can you hear me? All right, let me see if my audience can hear you. Okay, how's that?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, now we're gonna try and do it this way because obviously there seems to be a little glitch in electricity and some of the connections. Now, AOC is in Las Vegas with President Biden, and she's not here in the 14th Council District. The primary is, here we go, here's my paper, is June 25th. We're in the middle of early voting. So how is it going, Mr. Dolan?
We're very happy with how it's going. You know, we've knocked on about 6,000 doors in the last 2 weeks. We're getting a very strong response. We're getting more in favor of us than in favor of AOC. We'll be coming out with some endorsements in the next couple of days. And I think her being in Las Vegas is the perfect symbol of her attitude towards this district, which is she wants to be a national figure. She wants to be famous. She doesn't want to do the work. The work is representing the community of the Bronx and Queens. And she hasn't done it for the last 5 years. And there's no reason to believe that she's going to do it for the next 2 years. So I think you need to find somebody like me. It would be an honor to do this job. I don't know what it is about it that she doesn't like, but I would consider it an honor to represent the people of the Bronx and Queens in Washington.
One would consider that in the 2020 presidential election, Joe Biden carried the 14th congressional district by 79% over 22% for Donald Trump. And in the 2022 election, though, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez in the general election under the Democratic and the Working Families Party line only carried 71% against just Republican Tina Forte, who got 28%. Does that tell you something?
I think the people of the Bronx have really turned against the progressives, and they're really searching for answers. They're very upset about the crime. They're very upset about the illegal immigration. They're very upset about the fact that their lifestyle has just deteriorated under AOC's leadership. And I think she is really the main reason why you have the Trump Democrat phenomenon. Obviously, a lot of people in the Bronx are coming over to the Republican side, but I think it's because the Democratic Party has become so radical that it's changed beyond recognition. And what I'm saying to the voters is, you don't have to wait until November. On this Tuesday, you can make your voice heard. You go out, you find your polling booth, you vote for me, you don't vote for AOC, and we send a message to Eric Adams, we send a message to everybody that the Bronx has had it. It had it with the progressive stuff, and then in her infinite wisdom, she's decided to host Jamal Bowman and Bernie Sanders in St. Mary's Park, but she doesn't have time to have a debate with me. So I think she's completely lost her way. And I'm asking the Bronx voters to come out on Tuesday, find your polling booth, and vote for Marty Dolan. And really, you're voting for yourself. You're voting for change.
Well, Marty, the one thing that I'm insulted at is that when she was the challenger, I went all out for AOC to get her a debate with Joe Crowley. Okay. And it was from the Parkchester Times. It was in Parkchester. And she moved away from Parkchester now. So she's not really in the Bronx anymore. And I just feel slighted that I thought she was my friend and I had no problem. The staff even told me at a sparsely attended Parkchester Town Hall meeting, yes, we'll have her on your show. We don't want to debate Marty Dolan, but we'll have her on your show. And then her campaign person, Lauren Hitt, says, no, she's too busy to go on your show. And this was over 3 weeks ago. So she had 3 weeks. I'm not saying that today she had to come on, but we had 3 weeks. So last week I had George Latimer on. And George was excellent. I mean, as good as you are right now. And George is going to be a winner. And who knows? AOC won. She herself didn't expect to win if you saw the movie that she was in. So who knows? Maybe you can win.
Well, we see that. Our our responses coming back from our canvassers are 2-1 in our favor. So, we know we're going to have a good election on Tuesday. You never can say, like Joe Namath, I'm going to guarantee it. But I know we're going to have good results on Tuesday. And I think it's an insult by AOC, not only to you, but to your listeners, which is if you don't care to keep your commitments to the local community, you don't belong in Congress.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show, Marty. Good luck to you. I hate to say that, Alex, but this is, democracy is debating your opponents, whether you feel they have a chance or not. And if you feel they don't have a chance, then there's no reason not to debate your opponents. All right. So,
that's right. I would say, it's about debating, but it's also about voting. If you vote on June 25th on Tuesday, you get to complain. If you don't vote, you don't get to complain. So let's get everybody turned out, do your research, and vote.
Okay, like I said, thank you for coming on. And let me go to a commercial now. I'll come back with some more politics after the commercial, now that things were a little straight.
In a world where the quality of information available to poorer communities is doctored, tainted, and sometimes regressive, where the words fake news have come to mean other people's opinions, it is vital to rely on news platform with journalists who have feet on the ground and can report the truth. New York Parrot, a New York-based national and global news outlet, is changing the narratives of media operations. We focus on the news that matters, like self-empowerment, entrepreneurship, finances, health, security, politics, and more. We strive to curb violence, racial and economic discrimination, and to promote peace and socio-economic development of multiculturally diverse world. As we give voice to the people, we also give your business a voice and make it heard. Get your products and services off the ground by advertising on our fast-growing platform. With so much of daily visits to New York Parrot, you can't afford to be invisible to prospective clients on the websites they trust the most. Our posts reach millions of people across the New York State and around the world. Advertising on our news site will unlock an audience of thousands of potential customers on your doorstep. New York Parrot is born to prosperously speak tomorrow for the voiceless.
Okay, as I said, AOC is in Las Vegas trying to help Joe Biden, and it appears that Joe Biden is going to need the help here in New York, as the Republican chair, Ed Cox, has released the following statement in response to the latest Siena poll out about the presidential race in New York. Ed Cox says that Trump is up 13 points in the suburbs, which is becoming a crucial battleground area, and which is probably why Governor Hochul has stopped congestion pricing or paused it, because she doesn't want her suburban Democrats to lose. She needs to win back seats in Congress so Hakeem Jeffries can become the Speaker of the House again. Republicans are up, as it says, in 4 generic congressional district ballots in the suburbs. Biden has a 70% unfavorable rating with independents and 64% unfavorable rating in the suburbs. Trump is 17% up with independents. 49% of New Yorkers believe crime has gotten worse. Only 17% say it's gotten better. 83% acknowledge the migrant crisis is a serious problem. And the statement from GOP Chair Ed Cox is, this is the third poll that shows President Trump within a striking distance of current President Joe Biden in New York State. Democrats are wholly responsible for inflation in food, energy, and housing costs. They've enacted reckless criminal-friendly crime laws and incentivized illegal immigration into our nation and state. The numbers are unmistakable. New Yorkers want a leader who can restore order, address economic challenges, and handle the migrant crisis efficiently. President Trump and Republican conservatives candidates are ready to deliver the change that New Yorkers are demanding in New York State, Republican Chair Ed Cox said. Now, while we're on the subject of President Trump, it appears that former President Trump will get the final word when he debates Joe Biden on CNN next week. After a coin flip to determine podium placement and the order of closing statements, the coin landed on Biden's campaign pick, tails, which meant that his campaign got to choose whether it wanted to see where exactly Joe Biden wanted to stand or if he wanted to end the debate. Biden's campaign chose to select the right podium, which means the Democratic president will be on the right side of the viewers, and his Republican rival, Donald Trump, will be on the left of the viewers. Trump's campaign then chose to have the former president deliver the last closing statement, which means Biden will go first at the conclusion of the debate. Biden and Trump are set to make history on June 27th in the first presidential debate between an incumbent and a former president. It will also be the first debate since 2020 featuring either Biden, who did not face a serious challenger for the Democratic nomination, or Trump, who has skipped those held during the Republican primary race. CNN's Jake Tapper and Dana Bash will host a 90-minute showdown in Atlanta. Both candidates have accepted the network's invitation and agreed to accept the rules and format of the debate as outlined in letters sent to both campaigns in May. For Trump, delivering the final closing statement in CNN's debate is a notable difference from his New York criminal trial and conviction last month. He seethed during the hush money case that his lawyer wouldn't get the last word, even though prosecutors delivering the final remarks in a trial is a commonplace. Here, Donald Trump will get to have the final remarks. As far as social media goes, Governor Kathy Hochul yesterday signed nation-leading legislation to combat addictive social media feeds and protect children online. Legislation S7694A/A8148A establishes the Stop Addictive Feeds Exploitation or SAFE Act for kids to require social media companies to restrict addictive feeds on their platforms for users under 18. The next law enables the New York Child Protection Act to prohibit online sites from collecting and using, sharing, or selling personal data of anyone under 18 unless they receive informed consent or unless doing so is strictly necessary for the purpose of the website. The Office of the Attorney General is in charge of watching over this newly signed legislation, and they have civil penalties of up to $5,000 per violation or other remedies that the Attorney General can hash out. It also calls for the establishment of the acceptable age verification and parental consent methods, also to be determined by the Attorney General as part of the rulemaking process. This legislation will also prohibit online sites and connected devices from collecting, using, sharing, and selling personal data, like I said, of anyone under 18, unless they receive the consent. And again, that is also now will be a civil penalty of up to $5,000 per use. Here in the Bronx, we really have no races except for the Co-op City area and a small part of Wakefield that is in the 16th Congressional District. But we also have now a race that's heating up in the 77th Assembly District, where Republican Congressman Adriano Espaillat is ticking off Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie and other black leaders by endorsing Latino primary challenges to black Assembly members in the June 25th primary. Espaillat and Congressman Jerry Nadler announced their support for Xavier Santiago, a TV producer who's taking on current Assemblyman Eddie Gibbs in the East Harlem area. And Espaillat himself has endorsed Leonardo Colio, a staffer for Mayor Eric Adams, over Assemblyman Landon Diaz. Hastie and Bronx Democratic Jamal Bailey are taking it personally, said a person familiar with the conversations around the endorsement. Espaillat didn't even give them a heads up, even though they've teamed up on races before, like 2 years ago. when they both endorsed Migliano Camilo against State Senator Gustavo Rivera. This time around, State Senator Gustavo Rivera has no opponent, so he has no primary. Racial politics are paramount in New York, and Espaillat has made no secret of his desire to build a Dominican and Latino power base, working with his squadrino, as it's called, of elected officials, even if it means contentious primaries. But these latest endorsements have become too spicy for even diehard allies like Manhattan Manny de los Santos and Bronx Assemblywoman Yodeka Tapia, who Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie has made sure that they don't cross their Assembly colleagues. Going into a few items that I've come across on the network, the Los Angeles Unified School District voted to ban cell phones during the entire school day. It becomes now the largest school system to take such a step in an era of concern about youth cell phone use and social media addiction. MTA Construction and Development President Jamie Torres Springer said that the transit agency has stopped work on the expansion of the 2nd Avenue subway because of the governor's decision to pause congestion pricing. It appears that the spot shotter, or shot spotter, I should say, has come under fire by New York City Controller Brad Lander's office, who released an audit of the police department's use of the shot spotter. It shows that only 13% of the time the shot spotter has been on target, and that the NYPD fails to make an efficient use of its resources, its officers' time, and holds Sound Thinking, aka Shot Spotter, accountable for the system's extremely high rate of unfound and unconfirming shootings. In essence, a car backfire is being said to be a shot. As far as your rent, if you're in a rent-stabilized apartment, the Rent Guidelines Board voted Monday to raise or to increase the rent for more than 1 million rent-stabilized tenants in the face of infuriated advocates who protested the decision. Hundreds of them took to the streets on the Upper East Side, with dozens blocking the entrance to Hunter College, where the board was meeting. However, the 9-member board, a mix of tenant, owner, and public representatives appointed by the mayor, voted 5-4 to approve a 2.75 increase for 1-year leases and a 5.25 increase for 2-year leases. They will go into effect when leases are renewed in October of 2024. And the delay to delay New York City congestion pricing, as I said, has already stopped the 2nd Avenue subway construction, and it is leaving the MTA with a bigger budget hole than originally thought, as it is now going to have to push back some of the work that is done. It was hoping to have a $15 billion worth of projects done with that congestion pricing, but that's not going to happen. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation, and the New York City Department of Mental Health and Hygiene today, and this just came in right before the show, announced Caring Transitions, a new program to serve youths ages 5 through 17 in the Bronx and Queens who are seen in a hospital following a suicide attempt or serious suicidal behavior. The program will engage young people within 24 hours of presentation in the hospital and will follow through their hospital stay and up to 3 months post-discharge. Risk for repeated suicide attempts is greatest within 30 days after a youth leaves the hospital, making the time during the hospital stay and immediately after critical to prevent another attempt. This program will engage families and help connect them to care and navigate the system to ensure that there is support in the community and in the home. Caring Transitions will be available in Queens at New York City Health and Hospitals Elmhurst Hospital, and in the Bronx we will have 3 sites. We will have Lincoln Hospital, Jacoby Hospital, and North Central Bronx hospitals in the Bronx, consisting of a multidisciplinary team of social workers, youth and family peer advocates, and a psychiatrist. These teams will work directly with patients on skill development and connection to provide ongoing treatment and support. If you know of somebody or someone who is in a crisis or crisis yourself, call the suicide hotline at 988 or dial 911 in case it's an extreme emergency. Before I finish the show, there are a couple of things that I want to mention. We have our local councilman on the east side, Christy Maramato, who has announced that 3 more illegal smoke shops in the area of her district, the 13th council district, have been padlocked. Flying Eagle Corporation at 3001 Westchester Avenue, Bureau Smoke Zone Incorporated at 3040 Bureau Avenue, and All Day Convenience Inc. Incorporated at 727 Allerton Avenue have been padlocked, according to Councilwoman Maramato. Now, there are a couple of events that are coming up tomorrow, or I should say later today. Councilwoman Maramato is having a Father's Day barbecue celebration with the 45th, 49th Precinct Community Affairs section, which I am a member of the 49th Precinct Council, the Neighborhood Initiatives Development Corporation, Mott Hall Community School. This is from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. at 650 Hollywood Avenue, which is the Mott Hall Community School. Now, tomorrow, Assemblyman John Sicaro Jr. has his 2nd annual Summer Kickoff Family Fun Day. It is in front of his office, Williamsbridge Road. My producer is telling me to hurry up. It is tomorrow in front of his office from 12 to 4 p.m. At 2018 Williamsbridge Road. So Williamsbridge Road will be closed between Leidig Avenue and Neal Avenue for the Assemblyman's event. Sunday, May 23rd, is the Community Board 11 Health Fair at Bronx House, 990 Pelham Parkway South. It runs from 12 to 4 p.m. It is by the Community Board 11 Health Committee. And the 49th Precinct Council is meeting Tuesday, June 25th at the Bronx Jewish Center, which is located 900 Pelham Parkway South, and that will take place at 7 p.m. So you will meet the new commanding officer of the 49th Precinct there. I do not have his name handy, unfortunately. It is on the announcement that is on Facebook, on many sites, telling you about this. So please, if you want to see the new commanding officer of the 49th Precinct, and he will be at the Precinct Council meeting. And let me thank you for watching. Let me thank my guest, Marty Dolan, for coming on. I am sorry that I couldn't have Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez on. Maybe she'll come on after the primary if she wins. Otherwise, I'll have Mr. Dolan, or I should say Congressman Dolan, back on, and we'll talk about what he's going to do. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week on Talking Politics here on Parrot TV.